Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button below. Don't forget to activate the bell to receive notifications on every new video. So today I'm here with Emily Cole, singer-songwriter, and we're going to talk about her life as an artist as well as her experience on American Idol. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you discover a love for music, and at what age did you first start singing?
Yeah, so I've always loved music. My mom said before I could even talk, I was singing. Like, she's like, she had the perfect tone. She was always singing. But I think for me, when it became real was like around 16, I started writing my own songs, and it became a way for me to process life. And so I think for me, it was kind of, I've always been bad at journaling. I could never do it. Like, I'd be like, I'm going to journal every day. And then I never could. And so for me, it was kind of a way of like, that's my expression of dealing with life and what I'm going through. So I think from a young age, I had it in me. But when I was like 16, I realized, oh, this is such a big part of who I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I think being in the music industry can be so hard to break in. There's so much competition. You've recorded 2 albums. You have multiple singles. That is amazing. How do you feel like you broke into the music industry?
Yeah, for me, I feel like it was kind of like random. I would say I broke in, but I haven't fully yet, you know. With my first album I recorded, I made it when I was 17, and no one knew I sang really, no one knew my music, and I just put it out, and I thought only my family would listen to it. I was like, whatever happens, happens. And it ended up being number 4 in the Christian gospel charts for over a week, and a bunch of people ended up sharing it, and I just never assumed it would ever reach anyone other than my family. And so for me, I know I was very lucky in that I had no money for advertisement. That wasn't really a thing back then. But for me, it's just kind of, you know, I think for a lot of people, it's a lot of connections. Like, it's who you know, who you have relationship with, that can kind of create open doors for you. And then if people believe in you, you know, if you're a kind person, if you treat people well, and they have a good experience, they're going to want to support you more, even as an artist, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's so good. What would you say are some of the greatest challenges that you faced as an artist?
I think the greatest like struggle you have as an artist is comparison. I think it's very easy to get lost in comparing your voice or your songwriting or your musicality to another artist. You know, for me personally, I'm not like the most soulful singer. So for me, like gospel singers, I'm always like, oh man, I wish I had the vocal runs I could do. But like, if you get so focused on what you don't have, then you kind of hold yourself back from fully releasing music. And I think comparison is what the biggest thing is that holds back musicians and artists, because they can't get past, you know, what they want to, what they see in front of them to see what they have already inside of them, if that makes sense.
Whoa, that's super profound. How have you overcome walking through that?
I think for me, I just started to like force myself out of it. I think you can sit with your thoughts and try to get over it, and, you know, try to make yourself not insecure or not compare. But I think you just kind of have to start releasing your music. Like, I think a lot of my friends, they wait for the perfect time. Like, I'm going to have the perfect album, I'm going to release it. But then they never do, and they're waiting for perfection. And I think for me personally, I have to force myself out of my comfortability. Like, get out of, like, I will be shy even posting a video of me singing, but I still do it, you know. I'm breaking myself out of a mold of comparison and okay, do I measure up, do I not? I just started posting stuff, even if I didn't even think I sounded that great. I was like, I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna break this fear. And over time, I've gotten more and more comfortable, like, with my voice and more confident in it, just by forcing myself out of my comfortability.
Wow, that's really good. Yeah, was it last fall that you auditioned for American Idol?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to hear, how did you do that? What came about?
It's pretty crazy. I had really never auditioned for any shows like that before. The Voice had reached out to me the year before and wanted me to come to a producer audition. And I went. I didn't get through because they didn't like my song choices, which I was like, that's fine. So with American Idol, they have a lot of phases before the actual show. So there's about, I would say, 4 auditions before you actually ever in front of the celebrities.
Wow.
So there's open call, callbacks, producer, executive producer, and then you get in front of the judges.
Okay.
So there's a lot. And one day I was texting my friend Ethan at work, and I was like, what if I sent in a video to American Idol? And I sent him a video in text. I was like, what if I sent this one? And he was like, totally do it. But I was at work, so I couldn't do it yet. So that night I got home and I totally had forgotten. And I was like, oh, I need to do that. But then I checked my email, and all of a sudden I see this email from a producer from American Idol. And
that is bizarre.
Yeah, the exact day.
Same
And I
day.
have like screenshots of our conversation. So like I did not make it up. And she had seen the exact video I had sent my friend earlier that I was like, I want to send this in because it was on my Instagram. So the video I was going to send into American Idol, the producer saw it, and then they said, come to an executive producer audition. You know, we really like your tone and everything. So it was like kind of crazy how it came about, and literally all the same day. I was shocked. So then I went to the executive producer audition. I didn't think I was going to make it through because I was just like, I've been through this process before, like not getting my hopes up. I was like, I'm not even that good for American Idol.
Not true.
Thanks. But my insecurity was talking. And they had told me like, oh, who's your favorite judge? And I was like, oh, I kind of like them all, but I like Katy Perry. And they're like, well, you're going to meet her in person. And I just like, it didn't register that I had made it through to the next round. So then I was kind of confused. They handed me a paper, and then I realized I was like going through the interview process after of them like asking my life story, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna meet those celebrity judges that made it through. So yeah, the whole thing really came out of like random. Like I was not pursuing it. I never really had tried to pursue singing shows. So I was just like, every step of the way, I was like, this is so crazy, and I can't believe I'm here, you know?
That's amazing. Who were some of the celebrities that you ended up meeting, and did you have a favorite one?
Yeah. Well, I met a good portion of those that are, you know, in charge of American Idol. So like Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, Luke Bryan, Ryan Seacrest. It was so crazy. I was like, this is not real. But I think for me, the one who was made the biggest impact was definitely Luke Bryan. He was so kind in my audition, super encouraging. Lionel Richie has like such a sweet spirit to him too. And even Ryan Seacrest, like when I was off of the camera, he was like, you know, I hope you find like hope if people are touched by your story in this. And I was like,
amazing.
I was like, this is so nice. I was like, he like held my hand, and it wasn't even on camera. He was just like so like tender, and I was like, it's not even for their cameras, they're not even rolling, you know? So it was like, they were all so sweet. Katie was sweet too, but like those are the ones that really like impacted me in the experience.
That's so cool. How did you handle being rejected and getting cut before making it along further in the process?
So for me, I guess for me, I was just kind of shocked. I didn't think I was gonna even make it past the judges round. So when I got 3 yeses, I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe this.
That's huge.
Right, like a lot of my friends, they said, you know, I got 2 yeses or whatever. And I was like, I can't believe all 3 said yes.
Amazing.
So when I did get cut, it's like a very exhausting experience. Like emotionally, physically, it's so draining. Hours are so long. You're filming all the time. That when I got cut, I was I was emotional, but I think at the same time, a lot of it had to do with the fact that I had been exhausted for like 2 months up until this point, and then I knew it was over, and my body was like, okay. So, and I'm pretty sure I was getting sick at the time.
Wow.
Everyone was. And so I guess for me, I did have a lot of insecurity when I got cut. But at the end of the day, like, I know that I did the best I could, and I was myself. And every year they're looking for certain things, and it just wasn't my year. And, you know, I met so many incredible people through it, like friends that I know I'm going to have the rest of my life. And so for me, I'm like, if that whole experience was for that, like, totally worth it for me. And I think I believe in myself much more than I did before, because, like, I would have never even thought I would make it to Hollywood Week, you know? So, yeah.
That's incredible. What advice would you give someone who's wanting to try out for American Idol, or not even that, but go forward in their music career?
I think the biggest thing I would say is just be yourself. You know, you can try to mimic other musicians and whatever, but you have to find your sound and what you want to say, you know, and be aware of the message you want to portray. If you want to be a goofy pop singer, do that. You know, if you want to be emotional and talk about breakups, be that, you know. But to figure out exactly what message you want to put forward so that you're confident in yourself. And I think one thing that people are hungry for is authentic music. So I would stay away from anything that isn't authentic. Like, be vulnerable, be real. You know, that's what people are really wanting, especially with music. So no matter what, like, you have to be willing to go to deep places in your heart to be, I think, to be a successful musician, because that's what grabs people. It's not, oh, this catchy tune. Like, sometimes that does, but really the heart is what grabs the audience.
That's so good. Wow, you're really good at this.
Thanks.
Has there been a certain artist or musician that has inspired you?
Yeah, for sure. I listen to, especially my younger years of writing, there's this band called Sleeping at Last, and he just has such a way with lyrics. He's brilliant in the way that he words things. So he made a really big impact on me as a young writer, for sure. Just to go outside of the norm of words that are used, the vocabulary, and just even the way that his music flowed. It's not a typical, you know, verse, chorus, bridge kind of thing that most people do. So I think he has really inspired me. Vocally, I would say probably ADELE has made a really big impact on me. I love her voice. She's so good. And just, she's very vulnerable too, which I love. So anybody who really is very raw in their music, I'm like a sucker for. So
That's awesome. What are you currently doing, and where do you see yourself in the future as far as your music goes?
So for currently right now, I'm actually working on a single. So I'm like very excited. So I've been working on that for the past like month and a half. I think maybe 2 months now. So for me currently, I'm focusing more on, I would say, my religious music, or, you know, Christian music. Just because I feel like that's what I want to do right now. So for me, I'd really love to travel and sing places. So I'm just trying to, I don't know, grow more of, not a category, but grow more my music online, so that maybe I can get people to want me to come and lead or sing for them. And so I'd love to actually get to that point where I can, you know, possibly do it full time, write for other musicians and stuff like that.
So inspiring. When you say travel, do you have a certain country in mind, or are you thinking in America, or where would you like to go?
I would love to go anywhere. I'd love to go to different countries and sing for them too. I love Asia. I haven't been there in a long time, so I'd love to go back to Asia, or just, I mean, I've never been to like Italy and stuff like that. Love to go there.
Italy's amazing.
But for me, just in general, wherever people want me to come and sing, You know, I've been kind of all over the world, and I just love to go back at some point.
So good. I've loved hearing more of your story and your experience. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to link down below Emily's music through Spotify, as well as a video that she made about her American Idol experience. So be sure to go ahead and watch that. If you guys liked this video, don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.